What's good, guys? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's dive into Monday Night Raw for May the 15th, 2023. The show, for the most part, was okay. Nothing too out of the ordinary happened on this show. It felt like a regular, run-of-the-mill Monday Night Raw. Like, that's how Raw has been feeling for the most part ever since Mania. That's just how it's felt. If I'm being honest, which I am. So we kicked the show off with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sami says they're excited about Night of Champions, revealing that they also just found out about the match on Friday, and are just as surprised as everybody else when talking about Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Sami says Roman and Solo look like a big threat to their titles on paper, but they don't see it like that. They see this as a gift because it's a big chance for revenge on Roman. Sami goes on about how they should have won their respective title matches with Roman Reigns, but Roman has cheated his way through an entire title reign, which is all facts, no lies detected there. He's gone unchecked, but now they will check him. Sami says Roman has gone unchecked for too long and now doesn't know when to stop. He says they thought revenge would come by making the bloodline, by making sure the bloodline crumbles, but Roman is making sure that happens on his own. Sami goes on about pushing the title stuff too hard and pushing the Usos too hard. Sami calls Reigns a psycho for the other titles not being enough and a 1,000-day reign not being enough, then says Roman cannot have these titles. So then Judgment Day, they come out. So Kevin Owens is glad that Judgment Day is out here because he's sick and tired of talking about the bloodline. KO is then fired up. He's annoyed at Sami for raining on the Judgment Day. Owens doesn't know why or care why Judgment Day, but if they want to fight, they got it. Sami apologizes for starting at a 10 and says they have no issues with Judgment Day. Damian Priest says Kevin Owens is right. He wants to fight. So Damian Priest enters in first, but Balor calms him down. Finn Balor says they wish that Owens and Zayn good luck, but it looks like they're just right back where they started. They taunt Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens getting beat up by Reigns. Balor says if they win somehow at Night of Champions, then they'll be in line of superstars waiting for a title shot, and the line starts with the Judgment Day. So Rhea speaks up and reminds them how the Judgment Day runs Raw. The fans boo. Sami says they have some fantastic points, but he wants to know what Dominik has to say. Because people love when Dominik speaks. Then we get loud boos. Dom keeps on trying to speak, but the boos drown him out. Kevin Owens says this is pointless and he just wants to punch Dominik in the face. Sami says, yeah, why not? So Rhea, she then socks Kevin Owens instead. Priest decks Sami off the distraction. And then the Judgment Day, they beat down Kevin Owens, and then Sami Zayn comes back in with a steel chair to make the save. So I do like that. It was a good way to start off the show. Pretty okay little segment there. But do we have to rush into everything? Do we have to automatically have a match just because we get a promo or a backstage segment? It doesn't make any sense. Like, this shit is nauseating to me. I don't like it. Like, this is something that you could be saving up for Money in the Bank or even SummerSlam. Like, why waste it on a on a random episode of Monday Night Raw. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know, but that's Triple H for you. You know, that's Triple H for you. All day, every day. Moving on, first match tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz. Shinsuke wins via the Kinshasa. So, it seems like Nakamura is stuck in the middle of not doing anything for a while. I don't see Gunther losing his title at least until probably towards the end of the year. So I want to say either between September and October, I would imagine. I could see Nakamura maybe challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. I could see that. But for now, he's just there just to be there. And we know that Nakamura is going to get a push for sure. He kind of does deserve it. But there's not much you can do with Nakamura. I mean, I like him, but, you know, the only thing I see him doing is just winning the IC title. And maybe that could happen. I mean, it's a possibility. It would make the most sense. I don't know. It's just some food for thought, I guess. Moving on. So, Raquel Rodriguez, she's backstage with Adam Pearce and Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. So, they're arguing. And then Pearce announces that Liv was injured on SmackDown. So, Adam Pearce says no matter how bad Liv wants to defend tonight, she's not medically cleared. So, Sonya Deville says, as a former member of management, she knows that there should be a forfeit here. And then Chelsea Green says she's ready to go complain to Pearce's boss. Raquel proposes that she faces Chelsea Green tonight instead. So then Adam Pearce makes the match. And then Chelsea Green rants about how Raquel Rodriguez will regret this. Okay, I like it. It's all right. Moving on. So we get a sit-down interview with Corey Graves and Seth Rollins. So we're looking at Rollins' career all the way back in his early black and gold days, 2012. So that was great. They briefly touched on Rollins' run and turn on the Shield, basically. So Corey Graves asked, why is there now a need for a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion? And why is Rollins the guy to hold it? And that's all we get, but the interview will continue later on in the show. So I thought this was great. This actually makes perfect sense. I enjoyed it. And I'm glad that they didn't edit out Jon Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose. Well, FKA Dean Ambrose. You know, I enjoyed it. It actually made sense. He deserves it, you know. I'm glad they didn't edit it out. And I'm hoping that they do the same thing for AJ Styles come Friday for SmackDown. Hopefully we get something like that with him. Maybe have Michael Cole conduct an interview or Wade Barrett. Moving on. So Gunther, he's back. Gunther and the rest of Imperium, they're back. So Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, they introduce Gunther to Raw. Gunther gets on top of the announce table by himself. So Ludwig Kaiser takes the mic and demands all your gratitude for your IC champion. Some fans boo and there are some cheers. So Kaiser does his typical intro. The Ring General. Gunther. So Gunther takes the mic and says perhaps an introduction is due. He says for almost 1 year he dominated SmackDown as the undefeated and longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in the modern day era. But from this day forward, he shall continue his mission for Monday Night Raw. He knows no man on Raw has been identified as his next challenger or earned his respect. But tonight, one man can earn both by winning this Battle Royal to challenge for his title at Night of Champions. And I hate Battle Royals. I do. The Battle Royal is a waste of time. It makes zero sense. This would have been better if you would have taken 6 guys and had a elimination match. I would have picked Matt Riddle, Apollo Crews, Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, and who else? Mustafa Ali. That's what I would have done. But basically, Mustafa Ali, he gets the win. It makes sense. I'm glad Johnny Gargano didn't win. Although I could see him being one of the ones to dethrone Gunther. Remember, we are living in the quote-unquote Triple H era. I gotta put my small guys, man. Fuck out of here with that shit. Again, Johnny Gargano's saving grace is Tommaso Ciampa. That is his saving grace. It's facts. You can't dispute it. I mean, you can't refute it at all. It's straight facts. Nothing more, nothing less. So, Mustafa Ali wins. Makes sense. They're going to Saudi Arabia. You know, it is what it is. It's not really that important. We all know that he's going to lose anyway. But since this also is the Triple H era, I guarantee they're going to give these guys at least 20 minutes. Seriously. I guarantee you this is going to be at least 15 to 20 minutes. I'm willing to bet money on it. Not really, though, but I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. And I forgot to mention, Bronson Reed got an entrance, and he's still not over it. He still has no reaction. Again, I ask you, why do we need Bronson Reed around? Why can't Bronson Reed be somebody's heavy so he can get over it? The guy is not over by himself. He is not over. He's just not. The crowd only reacts when he does crazy spots, when he does crazy power moves. That's it. Other than that, when his theme song hits, there's no reaction. It's just silence, crickets. I don't know. Moving on. So Mustafa Ali, he celebrates post-match, and they give him a lot of pyro for whatever reason. I have no idea. Doesn't make any sense. Becky Lynch, she's back. Who cares? So Becky Lynch gets on the mic and says that she has an announcement to come around to Greensboro. Becky Lynch talks about how sometimes we need to ask for help. And she asked for help for 2 Hall of Famers, Lita and Trish Stratus. Becky says Lita was great, but her own vision was clouded, and she didn't see Trish like a snake in the grass coming from her for her. Becky knows that Trish never came back to help her. She came back to help herself because she's an egomaniac. Becky Lynch then thanks Trish Stratus because she hit her in the back of the head that turned on a light that had been out for many months. When Trish called her daughter stupid, she reminded her how important it is to stand up for people that you love. Becky Lynch says Trish was number one in this business and wants to be number one. But Lynch is it and will be it. Becky Lynch is fired up, and as she continues her promo, she says she will show Trish how thankful she is when she kicks her head in at Night of Champions. And then Becky Lynch drops the mic, and she waves to the crowd, and that was it. Who really cares? I'm so over Becky Lynch. I'm so glad that we're getting this at Night of Champions and not SummerSlam. Again, Trish should have never been booed. I mean, Becky Lynch has completely fallen off the rails. Like, I am so over Becky Lynch. So over her. She's so dry, boring, empathetic. It's like she just doesn't care. She reminds me of Ronda Rousey. Let's just be honest. She's not over like that. I mean, yeah, she gets a reaction here and there, but she's not over like she was in 2019. Or even, she's not even over like she was in 2016 when she was on SmackDown. In that era. I don't know, man. Moving on. Oh, my God. I wanted to barf with this next segment. So, Rhea Ripley, she's watching Becky Lynch's promo backstage. Kathy Kelly appears and asks about Natalya joining Raw. What happened last week with Natalya saving Dana Brooke. So Rhea Ripley says Natalya needs to stay in her lane, where she's made a pretty impressive career for herself. So Natalya interrupts and says, yes, it is impressive, but this is already known. And this is not about lanes. It's about Rhea beating down Dana, who was already defeated. Natalya says Rhea is a dominant champion who deserves respect, something she's not allowing the other women she's running through. Rhea then says, don't act like you came down here for Dana. It was for yourself. Rhea knows Natalya is trying to make people care for her again, so thank you. Then Rhea says she promises to end Natalya's career if she gets in her business like that again. And then Dominik Mysterio shows up, tells Rhea it's time to go, and then they hold hands, and then they dip out. So I do like this. I hope that Rhea does end Natalya's career so Natalya can go and be a backstage fucking producer or get knocked up and have a child. I do not want to see boring-ass Natalya on my television at all. She is boring. My God, she is boring. TJ, man, please knock her up, bro. Please knock up Natalya. Please. Or adopt a child. Something, man. So she can go away. My God. Next, Alpha Academy and the Maximum Male Models, they're arguing backstage. So Mustafa Ali, he walks up and says they'd all be winners like him if they started thinking more positive. Ali begins to laugh, and then everyone else walks off. So he stops at Imperium. Gunther, he extends his hand, and he congratulates Mustafa Ali on being the next in line. What is rightfully Gunther's. Gunther feels bad for Ali having to travel around the world for the biggest beating of his career. They shake hands. Ali says he feels bad for Gunther because he's traveling around the world just to be humiliated and defeated for his title. Ali tells them to be positive, and then he walks off as Gunther is fuming. So I like this. This is fine. It makes sense. Again, we're probably going to get about a 15 to 20-minute match between the two. I mean, it is the Triple H era, right? It's all about work rate. Not character development, just fucking work rate. Yeah. It's all about damn work rate. Yep. That's what it's about. It's about work rate. And work rate over there. Dominik Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. We got this last week. Who really cares? Dominik wins via an inside cradle roll-up. Who cares? I'm guessing this will probably lead to the New Day versus the Judgment Day later on. Whenever Kofi Kingston comes back from injury, that's all I can make of this. Not that I really even care about it. Moving on. So, we get a vignette from JD Mcdonagh. He beat down Dolph Ziggler. I forgot to mention that earlier on. He beat down Dolph Ziggler after Ziggler eliminated him in the Battle Royal earlier on in the night. So JD goes on about watching others get opportunities And he realized he was just performing for an audience of fools. JD is the power of force and the plague of suffering. The destructor who digs the graves. The Irish is here to stay. So I do like that. That was really cool. How it was like it was done in black and white, like how they do it for Karrion Kross on SmackDown. I enjoy that. Definitely Jeremy Borash-esque, if you will. And I guarantee he was the one who thought of doing stuff like that. So really good vignette. So Kathy Kelly, she tries to get a word in with JD backstage, asking about the attack on Dolph Ziggler. JD said he came to Raw to make a statement. Who better than Dolph? JD says Dolph found out what the rest of the locker room will soon find out soon enough. Never bet against an ace. And then JD Mcdonagh, he walks out of the arena. But then we see a glimpse of Finn Balor looking. So they're teasing JD Mcdonagh aligning himself with Judgment Day, which actually would make the most sense. I like it. Him in Judgment Day makes the most sense. That's going to be the only way that he gets over. I don't see him getting over by himself. And him feuding with Ziggler, it doesn't really mean anything. Because Ziggler is just a former shell of himself. I think that Dolph Ziggler would have been better if he would have went away for a while, like a few years, like to go to like an Impact or something like that for a while. I think that would have been great for his career. That's just me. Next, in the Sure, they defeated a couple jobbers by the name of Drake Thompson and LeVar Barbie. So in the Sure, they win. Then Jinder gets on the mic. He speaks some Hindi. Jinder walks over and puts on a headset and says a lot. People are saying that Raw belongs to them, but it belongs to Indus-Sher, and their future will be written in gold. Jinder takes the mic and says something in Hindi about Indus-Sher owning Raw, and then Veer and Sangha, they pose in the middle of the ring. Again, I like it. I'm fine with it. I'm guessing we could have him as IC champion after Gunther, if you want to keep the heel persona going. I think that would be tremendous. That would be great. And believable. So, that would be cool. And what they could do, they could have Nakamura be the one to defeat Gunther, and then and then Nakamura and Jinder, they relive their 2017 feud all over again. It could happen. It's a possibility. Never say never. Moving on. So, Imperium, they approached Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens backstage. So Owens is bothered. So Gunther says he will not tolerate disrespect like they showed his men last week. So Owens asked if Gunther has a problem. They can fight next week, all three of you. Sami says they'll find a partner for next week. Imperium agrees and then walks off. How much you want to bet it's going to be Matt Riddle? How much? How much you want to bet it's going to be Matt Riddle? How much? So freaking predictable. It makes zero damn sense at all. It don't make any damn sense. Moving on. Cody Rhodes. He's out next. He asked Greensboro what they want to talk about. He brings up the history of wrestling in Greensboro and how this was the home of Starrcade 1, a wonderful event with mutual respect, which Brock Lesnar does not share. Cody mentions Lesnar chose to miss tonight's show. Fans boo. Cody tells the story of the scorpion and the frog. He says that the scorpion helped the frog, but then stung him because it's in his nature. Cody says it's in Brock Lesnar's nature to hunt. But Cody just wants to just wants to know how Lesnar's face is doing. He continues to taunt Lesnar over busting his face up. Cody says he may have broke Lesnar's spirit and beat up the biggest bully in WWE. So he gladly accepts the Night of Champions challenge. Cody says there's a lot of talk about Lesnar and his ego or his number of dates, but Brock Lesnar is on top because he's better than 90% of the others in WWE. But at WWE Backlash, Brock Lesnar was not better. Cody goes on and says no matter what happened in Backlash, Brock Lesnar still would have hunted him down because this is about who is the big thing on Raw. Cody says they were right about Lesnar being the next big thing, but if they just say next, but what if they just say next? Cody goes on about Lesnar conquering WWE before, but he needs Lesnar just to take his busted up face and go on, because no longer is he the next big thing. He's just in Cody's way and needs to get out. So I do like that. It's pretty cool. Makes sense. This kind of solidifies their feud. I'm predicting now that this is going to be the end of their feud. I think that would be a way to end the feud. I think they're probably going to do a unsanctioned match, which is fine with me, versus a last man standing match or a steel cage. I think no sanction would be the best between the two. I'm hearing rumors online that people are saying that Vince is gonna allow this to run out to SummerSlam. No, it's not gonna happen like that. There is no pay-per-view for June, and why would you waste Money in the Bank on Cody and Lesnar 3? That would make no damn sense. So it ends at Night of Champions. I'm hoping that they do an unsanctioned match, and I'm all for it. People are wanting an explanation. We don't have to get one, because why? It's Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is never really there. He's a part-timer. Why would we get an explanation? For what? There's no need for one. Brock Lesnar does whatever the fuck he wants to do. It's that simple. Come on. That's common sense. We don't need an explanation. He's Brock Lesnar. He does whatever the hell he wants. He only works 6 to 7 times a year. Come on, man. We got to do better in the IWC and YWC as a community. We got to start thinking. We really do. Next, Zoe Stark. She's backstage. Oh, my God. She's bragging to Nikki Cross about last week's win. Cross is ignoring her, which is great, because Zoe Stark sucks. Let's just be honest. So Candice LeRae, she shows up and tells Stark to stop calling Cross a freak. So Zoe Stark asks about Candice LeRae's family, The Way, and insults Candice LeRae's family. LeRae says they can deal with it in the ring next week, and the match is on. So that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? Yawn. Neither of them are over anyway. Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green. Raquel Rodriguez wins via the Texana Bomb, or the Chicana Bomb. I don't know why they call it that. I don't know why. It's not important. So post-match, Raquel Rodriguez, she heads up to the stage to celebrate, raises her title in the air. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, they attack Raquel, lay her out with a knee. And then Ronda gets on the mic and says that Raquel's supposed to defend these titles. And she's going to, with or without Liv Morgan. And she'll take a beating every week until she does. So Ronda then holds Raquel back. And then Baszler lays her out with a knee strike. Again, not important. Who gives a shit? Waste of time. No one cares. So, Imperium is backstage. Gunther shakes hands with Paul Heyman. And then Paul Heyman gets on the phone to call Roman Reigns with a sinister look on his face. Part 2 of the sit-down interview with Seth Rollins and Corey Graves. So, Seth Rollins says he wondered where he would be if he never would have hit Roman Reigns with that steel chair. We get to take a look at some of the other versions of Rollins from his WWE career. So Corey Graves touts some of his accomplishments and then asks why this iteration of Rollins is his best. Rollins laughs and says, "This is the fun part. He's in a synergistic situation with the WWE, and this is the most authentic version of himself." So Corey Graves asks, why now? Rollins says maybe it's the equity or the hard work, but he has some type of organic relationship with the fans, and he's not forcing any change as fans are the catalyst for a change. Corey Graves asks, why now is the time for a new WWE champion? A new WWE World Heavyweight title, and why should Rollins be champion? Rollins says he didn't want to be the one to say this, but we need to change again. Rollins doesn't feel like anyone at the top wants to take any risk with the titles they're holding. They're all about protecting themselves and not moving the industry forward. Rollins says, now, if the perfect time for the new title and we can do it the way it's supposed to be done. And then Corey Graves asks Seth Rollins what he thinks of Roman and his undisputed WWE Universal Championship reign. The question is going to be answered next week. And Corey Graves says it's going to ruffle some feathers. Again, I like it. This is cool. It makes sense. I just hope that next week, I just hope that AJ Styles gets the same treatment for SmackDown. And I do like this. This makes perfect sense. And then the main event, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus Judgment Day, featuring Damian Priest and Finn Balor. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they get the win here via the haluva kick, with interference from Imperium. They got involved, as well as Rhea and Dom. They got involved as well. So Imperium, they have a couple stare downs with Owens and Sami Zayn. And then Raw goes off the air. So, again, it was an okay show for the most part. Nothing too major out of the ordinary happened. A whole lot of nothing. It's been like this for several weeks for Raw. Like, Raw has suffered tremendously after WrestleMania. And, I don't know. I really don't know what else to say. I think JD Mcdonagh being teased to join Judgment Day is great. It's going to be cool that we're getting a Imperium versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens feud. That should be kind of cool. The women's division is in shambles. We still have no explanation as to why Rhea's holding the SmackDown Women's Championship and Bianca's holding the Raw version. My best bet is that they get rid of those championships and retire them and just give them the WWE Women's Championship and maybe a Women's World Championship. Instead of just doing a merger and merging the titles, that it doesn't make sense. You have a massive women's division, and you can't just have one massive division. You've got a massive women's division. I don't know. What did you guys think of the show? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.